Okay. At this time, we'll call the meeting to order and do the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's nice to snoop at home and see if everyone stands up and a couple of housekeeping notes. Those in the Adirondack Central School sports world lost probably one of the biggest athletics that's crossed our paths in decades. Gerald Babcock passed away a couple of days ago. He'll truly be sorely missed. Now I know we have spectators. It didn't matter what level activity was taking place, but also he traveled to many of the away games. He will be sorely missed, and between me and him, we would fight to get the first bowl of my wife's chili at the booster stand. He usually won. My wife made it for him. Secondly, on a happier note, I don't know, it was on WK last night, one of Ac's own, Belle Cramble, who is currently a freshman at Monmouth College, which is the Metro Atlantic Conference. She's playing varsity girls basketball. She's in honor of the MAC Rookie of the Week this past week. The team itself is not doing that great. I happened to look at their record, but that's not what the award was about. It was her effort. You all would recognize many of the schools, Marist, Quinnipiac, Manhattan, Iona, Siena, Niagara, Canisius. It's a very competitive league, and she's doing well. She's doing well. At this point, I will turn things over to Sharon. Budget.
In your packet this evening, you received a number of handouts. The first handout was the draft 2 of revenues. The actual revenue. The projected are stating is a significant decrease from what's actually budgeted, because there was a wrong state aid that we were to receive. It's about $1 million. You can see also that there is an increase at this time for next year of more than $1 million. That is dependent on a $6 million stimulus package. They do believe that if we receive more, we will receive more state aid at this time. As you can see that when you look at those state aid runs, one of the things that the governor included in his 2021 run, when you compare current fiscal year to next fiscal year, were the star payments, which actually real property tax reimbursement, which actually does not stand. So we believe that people we're getting the same amount of state aid as last year as what they had projected for last year, but we are not. But there is also an offset of reduced expenses for the current fiscal year that will offset that amount. We will have another revenue as we get closer. We do have to do some work on the capital portion of it for debt service, because the state aid funds do not show our existing capital project and the debt service implementation. So do we have any questions on the revenues? Yes.
So, in terms of being able to spend funds from the workers' comp reserve, does that indicate that
It would have to be in the revenue portion of the budget that he submitted. So if you wanted to move the reserves around, some of the reserves you can actually board can look at review and take out. Other ones, you have to put the voters out. So that we.
But we go ahead and put it in the revenue side. So,
Yep.
so what that is, we've got not quite 2 years worth of workers' comp money in reserve for workers' comp reserve. And it made sense to me to put that money into revenue side of the equation, and then offset with funding that's going to be used in different reserve, meaning cash tertiary, or ERS, or start building a category reserve back up, or something like that. So that's something that we talked a little bit about the finance committee, and that we advocated trying to do is to put basically the workers' comp, which is about $250,000, to pay that on the revenue side out of the workers' comp reserve.
You want to look at that, that's what we do that. Robert, was it this one? We also received an overall draft of the budget, draft 2. This is the actual, I did have digital column, which is roll actual, because estimated actual is not a normal year. I will be tweaking those as time goes on, because that's a little bit of a moving target there. We do have right now a math series we're planning to purchase this year, and I want to say it was made that they were going to select the math series and then purchase the math series for the current fiscal year. Next year, the plan is to purchase a new elementary ELA series as well. It's quite a sizable expenditure, about $300,000 on the line end. Those are in the budget at this time. The administrators are talking about adding an additional social worker, as everyone knows and has seen it. Not going to be here for students and they're not going to better. They would like to add an additional social worker that would function for K-12. Perhaps offset that with the Center for Family Recovery. See what we can do, see if we can get a little more interventions. They're struggling, some of the students at this time, and the remote kids, new kids. Are starting to struggle. It's very tough for socialization into that nature. There's an extra bonus and the so at this point, we're suggesting we also for our fiscal year for a behavioral specialist, from OCs that we did not use. So that is something that we can offset that money. Use that as well. You will note the director of special ed, her expense has been moved from 2020 150 to 2250 150. That is an effort to fix the we gave a little bit of the MOE issue, which is about the 615 grants. We talked about that a couple of board meetings ago. That is because our for the NDEA or special ed grants is not what it should be. So we move that expense that should be down a little bit. That is a pretty good shift, as you know. The administrators, and I'm sure they will speak more when they do the report, are still formulating plans for summer school. They have been working since September, looking at failure rates, seeing what we can do to get kids to pass. Now we're looking at, we're finished the first semester, so the failure rates are coming in. We have to 6-12, have some time to kind of correct that. Let's see exactly where we are, try to push the kids through the credit recovery that we have. We'll probably 10 years here. We'll do high, see where the kids will be else. But there will be some gaps, especially at the high school level for kids who failed classes. So we'll fix that, but we'll also be gaps in middle school, obviously, and volunteer significant skill gaps because of small children. So they are formulating the plan, and they're going to speak tonight about the numbers that are already and all that. Other than that, there are real significant changes in this budget. The health insurance, I do have a nominal of 5% increase for the trip that is reflected in the budget. They will finalize that in March, so that number will probably go down a little bit. I'm still finalizing salary, things around because it is an area where your expenditures as a whole. So you have any questions on the expenditures?
Does the second draft revenues, does that look at probably receiving bus transportation aid?
So today they said the governor is in, let me back up. When we closed in March, when everyone closed in March, transportation aid is driven by transporting students to and from school.
Not only times.
Once to, once from. So when we closed March 13th, we stopped doing this. Now initially in October, the conversation was, there was politics in it, and there was politics in it. The conversation was, we didn't transport any kids from March to June, we lose all the transportation, which is a significant amount of money. Because we were still paying our drivers, we still had health insurance on our drivers, we didn't furlough anyone because they kept kicking in on the road every couple of weeks. So that was an issue. Today, the governor, we had our press meeting today, the governor is in favor of actually giving us our transportation or for the so that takes care of this year. They have not finalized that. The governor is now in support of us receiving the next year. So that is good news because that is still up in the air. We'll get to it on a different angle. They are talking about rolling all our capital related, which is our trans, our BOCES, our software, our hardware, and our textbook, up into services aids. If that is done, overall, yes, we will lose money, because that is the theory behind it. They take away all those category aids that are expense driven, we end up losing money, a significant amount. They have not told us exactly that. I don't know if in the end, because the government has always wanted to do that, if it will fly. I don't think when it will work with the federal stimulus.
So this draft two looks at if you receive as
Yes.
so it could potentially be less.
It could, but at this time, we are indicating that the government is in support of current physical transportation being correct. There is no additional decrease. There will be a slight decrease in even excess cost aid because they have now decided, and they have flip-flopped back and forth, that when the kids were full remote, and everybody was the one-on-one aid, we got no aid on that, no aid on the aid, because that aid was not performing in the duties. So as of this moment, any one-on-one aids from last year or this year during periods of closure, we do not get any aid back on. They have, and they flip-flopped and said, and I will heard it, they flip-flopped and said, yes, we're going to put aid on, we're going to aid the one-on-one aids, and then they flipped again and when they have everything and said, no, we're not. So we have to take off those periods. But as of this moment, transportation aid is set. Right now. And that's it. Any other questions? The final handout you learned today is historical moment. This is a sheet I have done over 2 years. I have now had to provide 2 pages, which is almost 30 pages. It shows our enrollment from 3-4, and then I projected out, and this time they're going out to 2026, 27, which seems like a very long. I indicated some of the increases in enrollment. I also showed the students that turn to homeschool this year, we assume that it's related and will potentially go back. This is not all our schools, and it's a lot of schools. It's just students that have so we assume these students will come back. It does not make a significant increase in our numbers, as we can see in the numbers are little sad, primary grades. Primary 69 kids in kindergarten, 68 in first, 61 in second, 76 in third, 76 in fourth. Those are very small numbers. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Well, maybe we'll have some more kids after this pandemic. I've heard that, but I haven't really seen it on a first-hand basis with people. You know what I mean? That's, well,
So, enrollment is declining. Do you have any other questions?
Okay, thank you. What are we going to hit in the second meeting?
That would be fun to close season technology. Growing and close season technology. And,
Okay. Any correspondence for public forum? Okay. We'll go into the administrator's report. Heidi? Nope.
she's working on it.
She... Yep, that's okay.
Okay. I go over my data really quick. After analyzing the rates for all the courses anyways to do, we're roughly at 80.5% rates passing for all courses during second market period. That leads us to a 19.5% failure to complete for grades for the second market period for certain courses. Of that 19.5%, 42 of them kids are 42% of the grades are remote students and 16 are for quiz. A couple other things, Rich.
Nope,
We're good.
you're back. Yep. We could hear you.
I'll just go on with the other couple things, and then we've heard everything I said. The showcasing competition for the classes will be judged on March 1st. We're looking to reopen the library soon. More details to follow. And we're continuing with the 3 to 5 program in 10th period.
Okay. Anything for Heidi? Dan?
Good evening. Real quick, we just started this afternoon with our basketball, volleyball, swimming drills over at the high school and then elementary. Off to a good start, and I visited all the skills and drills going on. Got a pretty decent turnout and all the different areas, seem to be doing well. Our plan was submitted to the Medina County Health Department, so we're waiting to hear back from that. I know they just started approving some, so we're hoping that's gonna go by a quicker now than we started. So hopefully we'll get that soon. And just real quick, an update with fall 2 sports. Athletic directors have not had a lot of time to focus on that. We actually started in January putting together the fall 2 season, that roughly came to the end once high risk winter kind of came out of nowhere. So I got a meeting tomorrow where we're looking to resume and kind of pick up and put together fall 2. The last thing I do recall, I do believe for soccer, we've done all, I think at least 6 to 8 different schools that are looking to compete in fall two soccer. I would imagine it was relatively the same cross country. We can talk about cross country, but I would imagine probably the same. Football is going to be a different story. Football is going to be covered under Section 3 rather than B. It might be a little problematic because we moved to 8-man football, which really only, I think, one team in United County that we can play. So if we can expand outside of United County and do some traveling, we can certainly probably pick up some 8-man football teams. We're going to be discussing some Section 3 football options we have as well. And it's been an interesting ride trying to find a school to let us use the pool during the middle of the global pandemic. Schools are not really welcoming. We had a couple of roadblocks, but I've got a couple other options to try, and we're optimistic that we can get a pool and get our students out there for the fall two seasons. That's going to happen fall two, and that's what we'll be meeting tomorrow and putting some things together. We have some more information, and I'm sure we're going to be working probably next week to assemble that season. Thank you.
Okay. Wendy?
Hello. I have 3 updates to share. The policy committee reviewed 3 policies at our committee meeting this month. One of those policies has been presented for your review tonight. The CSE meeting activity may look a little light with 2 CPSE preschool meetings and 16 CSE meetings on this month's board action sheet. One of our full days of meetings needed to be rescheduled due to last week's snow day. So the meetings from the snow day will be held tomorrow, and then the outcome of those meetings and the recommendations will be on the March board action sheet. And my final update is to report that we are making wonderful progress with our efforts to offer students with disabilities increased in-person learning time. I've been meeting with the building principals and the special education teachers to prioritize our list of students who would most benefit from attending school in person every day. So beginning on Monday, February 22nd, when we return from our February break, the students in our 15-1 ELA and math classes, our students with teacher aid support, and our high school students at risk of failing will be attending school in person every day. And then we will be having ongoing discussion and to continue to review our student with disabilities needs and classroom capacity for increased offerings for more in-person learning time. We're pretty excited about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Jill, Will?
Hello, and we are gathered now, but we
Yep.
I'm going to take it first. This is a report that determined period data that you asked for. So the middle school has an 85% pass rate, and the other 15% are incomplete or failures, where students will have the opportunity to improve their grades with a 3 to 5 program. So I expect this number will decrease, the percentage will increase with a 3 to 5 program. Of the 15%,
Thanks for the update. Christy? Christy, you can go next.
I think you said Christie.
Yes. Sorry.
What I'd like to give you an update on is
New York State has just recently released their Extended School Day School Violence Prevention, which is a competitive grant. This grant comes out every 5 years, and we expected it in the fall, but because budgets were on hold, it was delayed in coming out. But this grant was just released the end of January. So the deadline to apply is March 10th, which is a very quick turnaround. But one of the big projects I'm working on here in the month of February is to coordinate with other administrators. We know that we want to put at least one application in and possibly even two. A school district can apply for up to $350,000 per year, and then it would be for the next 5 years. And a school district can make more than one application, and that's why we potentially could put in two. And items that can be included in this grant would be anything that's extended school day. So anything that's after school tutoring, after school support, summer school. Some places do weekend school, school vacation, but anything outside of your normal school day to provide extra academic support and services to your students. So we're brainstorming and putting together possible options for that. It can include things like intramural programs. It can include things like robotics competition clubs or extracurriculars. The biggest catch is that it can't supplant items we already have in place. It has to be new items. But we're in a good spot because we currently don't have a summer school program. We do have 3 to 5 at the middle school, high school, but we could expand and do 3 to 5 at the elementary. We could potentially look at some after-school programming for our elementary students, like after-school daycare services. So there's a lot of great options. And the school violence prevention portion can include any activities to keep students safe. It can include security cameras, updates to your intercom systems. It could include SPOs. Again, you're not supposed to supplant if you already have them. But if it's a potential budget cut, you could consider it. But it could include even things like extra counseling services, mental health services, programs to deal with the social emotional learning of our students, which we all know right now we need all of these services more than ever with the issues that have been brought on by the pandemic. So I'm working hard with all the other administrators are working hard. We're brainstorming some different ideas, and we'll have applications, at least one in for up to $350,000 by March 10th, maybe two. It's a competitive grant, so we would find out later in the spring if we are awarded this, and it would be in effect starting July 1st, and it would be annually for the next 5 years.
Okay. Jill Schaefer.
And so we have some moving and shaking going on at the elementary level. And one of those includes kindergarten coming back after February break. And we are super excited about this. We have notified parents. We have reached out to remote and homeschool students to see if they're interested in coming back to the 5-day-a-week program. So we are very excited for this. Specials will stay intact. PE will stay intact. It's just wonderful that we're able to do this, and also welcome back the next cohort of students with disabilities. So looking forward to that when we come back. My own little kindergartner is very excited because he misses his friends that are in the other cohort. So they will get to reunite. So I'm sure kindergarten teachers will have their hands full the first couple days back with keeping the kids, I guess, from getting too excited from seeing their friends that they haven't seen some of them since March 13th. So they're all very excited for that. I have some data to share with you. Because of the snow day and the interruptions to schedules last week, we have pushed back our report cards to tomorrow and Thursday. So Linda and I are still compiling the exact number of failures and incompletes. But what I can tell you is that we did an attendance rubric with the elementary teachers and had them score their students based on in-person and remote instruction and work completion. And I am happy to report that of the 363 students that were scored at Boonville Elementary, we did not score pre-K, so that's why they're not included in this. But we had 363 students scored. Of that, only 16% generated an attendance or failure to meet learning expectations letter, which is wonderful. And that means that 83% roughly earned the teacher or principal special recognition. And I alone, as the principal, signed 165 awards for our students for second marking period. And in order to get a principal's award, they had to get a perfect score. Out of the 15, they had to earn all 15 points. So though my hand was tired, I was very excited to have to sign 165 of those and only, let's see, what was my raw number here? 48-ish, 50-ish of the attendance letters. So very happy with the data that we pulled from that. And we were so pleased with that we will be doing it again for the third marking period at least, because it has helped us have some conversations with both teachers, AIS providers, and parents. So we look forward to continuing with that. And other than that, if you've seen us wear some wacky outfits this week, it is Spirit Week at Elementary, and it has been Tacky Tourist Day for the last 2 days. Mrs. Gallo's rocking it, so she's had some interesting outfits. Well, we've had some fun with it. Tomorrow is Staycation Day, so it is Pajama Day. And then Thursday, Friday will be Red, White, and Pink Day. We're calling it Have a Heart Day, and we're challenging the students this month to do random acts of kindness for Kindness Month, which is our character trait for bucket filler. And that is all I have tonight, so thank you.
Thanks, Jill. Linda? Yeah, Bruce.
Hey, Jill, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So, quick question. For the kindergarten level, for the students returning, are the teachers still going to be responsible for the students that are forward alone?
That's a great question. And that was one that Linda and I and Christy had long conversations with them about. And we have chosen to actually have a different teacher pick up the fully remote kindergarten students. We feel like it is important for the kindergarten teachers to focus on the 16 to 18 children that they're going to have in front of them on a daily basis. And then also have a different teacher who has taught kindergarten before, have her pick up the remote kindergarten teachers. So we will be working with that remote teacher tomorrow to have her reach out to the parents and establish more details as far as what their learning times are going to look like for fully remote. But the fully remote students for kindergarten will begin to have live daily instruction now that we can devote one person to them.
Thank you. Okay, Linda?
Basically, I have a lot of the same information that Jill has already shared because elementary has been working on these projects together. So we also have all of our kindergarten students with the exception of 2 who are choosing to stay remote for the time being. But otherwise, we'll have all of our kindergarten students returning for full-time in-person instruction after the break. We also have a few special education students returning. We're preparing for that. And that also we'll work on a phased-in approach, as Wendy mentioned, to bring back more. And then for the West Leiden data that reflects the same attendance and participation, my numbers were also quite pleasing. If I were to combine what I call the yellow and red, basically your warning as yellow and we're really worried about you in red, I have a total of 27 students. Only 5 of them are red. And so really at about 107 students, that's about a percentage point per student. So I'm only looking at about 5% of students or 5 individual students who are really great concerns to us at this time. For the blue students, who, as Jill mentioned, needed to receive perfect scores in attendance and participation, whether they're remote or whether they're hybrid and participating in their at-home learning days, I had 52 students at West Leiden who earned principal's awards. That's 49%, so almost half of our students achieving with perfect scores. So overall, we're looking at about 27 students in West Leiden who we have our eye on, who we've reached out to, who we're encouraging for greater participation. And looking at the data, most of those students who are struggling are 100% remote students. Our hybrid students seem to be keeping pace with us, which we're pleased with. So we've already started a plan for this next marking period to get those students back on board, make sure they're fully supported in every way possible, and try to guarantee their success. And then as Jill mentioned, we'll also be compiling when report cards are done. They'll be done tomorrow. But when report cards are done, we'll also be compiling some comparative data on STAR reading levels, report card data, and then I will align that with students participating in AIS. And so we'll have some more information for you next time around. That's all I have.
For the 2 elementary, will the fully remote in Boonville be taught by the same teacher as the fully remote in West Leiden? We're going to combine them.
Yes,
Perfect.
because I only have 2. For kindergarten, I only have 2, so we figured it would be better to just make sure that all of those remote kindergartens were receiving the same instruction.
Thank you. Brian. Brian? Yep.
I'm not sure if he heard you, Mr. Kramer.
Brian, do you hear me? You're mute. You're on mute. We'll come back to Brian. Is Cameron with us? Oh, okay. Cameron, why don't you go next?
Evening. So starting off at the high school, the libraries moved back. The libraries all moved back in. The last little bit of furniture is scheduled to show up on Thursday with the crew to assemble that and get that going. After that, they'll be ready to rock and roll in there. They're finishing up some final punch list items that was punched out last Monday. Days are going together now. Last Monday, and they've been working diligently in there while the librarians have been unpacking and organizing. So they're ready to go in there. We were able to repurpose some of the bookshelves that came out of the library. Obviously, we saved everything, not knowing if we were going to have things in time to put it all back together. So we've been repurposing some of the taller bookshelves that came out of the high school library down to the K-5 building. We're going to send down a couple more stacks over break next week, as well as with the desks for the kids, reorganizing the rooms there. At West Leiden, New York State kind of through a new regulation for public water systems. West Leiden School being on a well is a public water system. So they hit us with a new, anyone with a public water system for dioxin testing. So we're looking at doing that next Tuesday. I'll take the test and get them down there. I've been forewarned, it's a very strict water test and down to what clothing I'm wearing and how you wash your hands. So it's going to be a nice little test to do that 1-2 quarters in a row. So we've been talking with Department of Health to make sure we're doing that properly, so we don't have any issues. You're probably already aware, we've got a public posting out right now for a 6-hour grounds worker cleaner position. That would be at the West Leyden Elementary. That comes back, I believe, the 19th of February. And I think I had touched base that we were underway with this last one at the last meeting, but we are officially done with our 2020-21 35K security project. So what we've done is all of the existing analog cameras in the district are now all digital. So we've got a higher quality and more control, and not have to worry about analog cameras dying like they were in a lot of the areas. So we are now all digital, and we're able to actually purchase a couple extra spares through that project. So we are in good shape for a while. That's all I've got this time. Thank you.
Brian.
Hey, Cameron?
Oh,
Hey, would it be possible, totally at your convenience, to get another tour of the building project?
Primarily at the high school? Another tour.
I can't hear you.
Would it
Would it be possible to get another tour of the building at the high school?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Totally at your convenience.
Let me know when. I'll coordinate it. It's not a problem.
okay, Brian.
Good evening, hopefully you can hear me. Okay, just want to thank the principals and Dan for their patience last couple of weeks while we're trying to line up our 3:30s, 5:30s, and shuttle runs. So it's all working well, so thank you again. Winter time is obviously upon us, lots of snow lately. The drivers have been doing a great job getting our students to and from school safely. I've been talking to them about all the ways we can help with that, and I posted the top 8 safety tips for driving in winter. And one thing I'm going to find will be interesting, right now when I'm down at Boonville, I usually about 2 or 3 days a week have to wake a student up and bring them off the bus. So it's going to be interesting when we bring back our kindergarten students 5 days a week, how they're going to handle that. So that's all I have. Thank you.
I'll meet him out.
outside, Ryan, get coffee.
Okay. At this point, let's move on to the consent agenda. The minutes of the January 26th, second regular meeting. Is there a motion? Mandy, is there a second?
Second.
Rick, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Regular agenda. Appointment of permanent positions that have successfully completed the civil service probationary periods. David Agnew and Todd Backer, grounds worker / cleaner. The effective dates are on here. February 15th for David and February 22nd for Todd. Is there a motion?
Second.
Doug, seconded by Mark. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 3, recommendation Committee on Special Education approval be granted for placement of students.
So moved.
Motion by Rick, second Bruce. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 4 is the recommendation of budget transfers for January 2021. Is there a motion? Doug? Second, Joan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Enclosed in our packet is the first reading.
There is 2 agenda addendums,
Oh, yes,
5 and
there-
6 on the regular agenda.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what that second sheet of paper is. 5 first, upon the recommendation of the superintendent and consistent with the terms and conditions enumerated in the resolution to conditionally appoint athletic coaches during the 2021 school year, which resolution was adopted by the Board of Education on January 21st, the Adirondack Central School Board of Education conditionally appoints the following coach: Americo Ventaquattro, girls JV basketball. Bruce is the motion.
Second.
Rick is the second. Any discussion?
Just my same opposition as the last time, that we're still in the middle of a intense COVID crisis with the outside strains doubling every week, and I don't want to jeopardize the kids at the school in the academic side to have sports on the inside. So it'll be the same for the second one too. So.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I don't think anyone disagrees with that comment. If there's no other questions, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. 6, resolved that the recommendation of the superintendent, the board approve the following high-risk winter sports. Last meeting, if you recall, we approved coaches. We, per Oneida County and probably the state, they want us to officially approve the sport that we've already approved the coaches for. It wasn't good enough to do one size fits all. So we're approving boys varsity and JV basketball, girls varsity and JV basketball, and varsity and JV volleyball. Motion by Bruce. Is there a second? Mandy. Mark's comment will carry over to second. Any other discussion?
No, just like Mike said, when we were doing the plans, the board has to specifically approve each sport. So the winter season, and then what sport you're playing in the winter for the county and the plan. So that's the reason. And as he mentioned, we appointed the coaches attached to the sport, but we just want to make sure that this is, also approving the sport itself. So that's where that's coming from. That's part of the plan.
So season is, for our purposes, going from January 21st through March 1st? 13th. Though fall 2 sports begin March 1st. Yes.
Do we know when?
Yeah, that, I want to...
An estimate?
Dan, do we know what's the date for spring sports? Tentatively.
April 19th is spring.
Said that the season. They do, okay.
Winter, fall 2, and spring all overlap by like
A week or 2. Okay. And none of them at this point playoffs, sectionals, tournaments.
spring is
Possibility, that's your, okay. Well, there's a motion and second on numbers, approve those sports for winter. All in favor? Opposed? Mark. Carry. Okay. The first reading of policy on the annual organizational meeting.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor by Bruce, seconded by Mark. Any comment, concern on the policy?
Or
Yeah,
It was good. It was nothing contentious in the meeting
I didn't-
that we had, so.
all in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Carried. The warrants are included. The receipts are included. Treasurer's report. You recall, I don't know, a month ago already, I forced my wishes onto all of you to nominate me for BOCES board, and come to find out I was given wrong information. My term wasn't up, so we'll save that thought for another year. I don't know. Not as long as Mike Young. Yeah, I think it's just over. Yeah. But there are going to be 3 vacancies, and I forget, I don't have it right in front of me. What school, well, the current, I got it right here. The only reason I'm looking, a nominee can't be from this school because you can't have 2 from the same school. So the expired terms are Sandra Young, she's a veterinarian representing out of General Brown. Lynn Murray's out of Copenhagen, and Mike Young is out of Loudville. So we'll come back to that. The terms of the following Adirondack Central School Board members expire on June 30th, 2021. Mandy Sturdivant, Rick Gallo. Time flies when you're having fun. Pick up your petitions, get them out there. Board of Education petitions will be available from the district clerk on Monday, March 1st, 2021, and must be returned by April 19th, 2021. Number of signatures is 25. There'll be a virtual legislative discussion on Friday, March 5th. Reservations needed by March 1st. That's through the Jeff Lewis School Boards Association. Included calendars, enrollment, claims auditor report. Anything else that needs to? It's a great start, but we're moving in the right, we're moving.
And there's probably going to be bumps in the road. I'm sure there's going to be bumps in the road, but just keep an open eye.
Yes, and thank you to all the administrators that have been working on this.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully we're headed in the right direction so we can bring more of our students back. That's very positive. So we want to see our students. So it took us a little while to get here, but hopefully we can move forward and continue to see more of our students in our buildings. So that's awesome.
Any idea yet how many students will be coming back?
gotta be over 100.
Between the
We
two?
count all the special ed kids, you count half the kindergartners, because they're remote, they're like,
There are 69, well, I mean, every other day, there's 69 K students, so they'll all be
so
back.
69 are back now full-time instead of half-time, almost.
30 plus CSE students that are in the first phase. So,
That's great.
pretty good.
It'll seem nice to hear voices again.
Yes, absolutely.
People have little voices.
I will entertain a motion to go into a short executive session on a personnel issue. Bruce, is there a second? Doug, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, administrators. Have a great vacation and have a great February 22nd with more bodies in the building. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
So